Hey guys, it's Sunday. I believe it's the 25th today of November. Like I talked about in yesterday's video, got a little bit of a different project in the garage today. Worked on it some yesterday and back out here again today. See if I can get some more done, maybe finish it up. Changing it up a little bit from our normal what we do. Although as you guys know, I'm a Mustang fan, and of course I have a 2006. I've had a number of them, over the years, and I really like the old ones, 67, 66, back in there. So I have two kids. Well, three kids technically, but two kids. I have a son and a daughter. My daughter is about to turn 22, and my son is 18. And they couldn't be as different in their interests, if it was planned. So my son has no interest whatsoever, for the most part, in cars or anything to do with that. He's more, video games, computers, stuff like that. That's what he likes. I mean, he's 18 years old and he still does not have a driver's license. And he's not concerned about it. So my daughter, on the other hand, is a car girl. She's definitely my daughter, and a lot of what you're about to see is kind of a chip off the old block type thing. I'm very proud of her. But anyways, we have her car in here today, and her car is named Maverick. It's her baby, and whenever it needs anything, she brings it over and Dad takes care of it. So this is what we've got, and this is what we're up to. Maverick is a 1987 SVT Cobra. It's a real Cobra from the factory. It's not just the badges and the wheels and everything. Basically, the difference between a Cobra in 1997 and a Mustang GT was essentially the engine. Suspension is slightly different, but it's basically the engine. This is the 4.6 liter. But it's the 32 valve overhead cam engine, so it's a little bit different. I believe these were 315 horsepower, something like that, from the factory. And one thing that actually, get a little rag here. One thing that's actually kind of cool about these engines, and I always like this with the SVT stuff, is these engines were hand built, and when they were all done, they're signed by the builder with a little tag right there. I always thought that was kind of cool. This car is a 97. She's had it for, oh gosh, at least 2 or 3 years. She's had it. Like I say, it's her baby. It's a little dirty right now, and she apologized for that. But nice shape, Nevada car. Fairly low mileage for a 97. She's put some miles on it, but I think now we're at, I don't know what, 110,000. 111,000. So not too bad for a 97. Car runs really, really well. It's very quick. Sounds good. Handles good. And like I say, whenever it needs anything, she comes to see Dad. Well, this is what we're into today with this. We removed the transmission yesterday. This is a Borg Warner 5-speed, and which is a little different because I believe the GTs And anybody step in and correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought all the GTs had the Tremec 5-speed, but that is in fact a Borg-Warner. So I don't know, it's a little bit different, but kind of an interesting car to work on for sure. These two bell housing bolts on the very top are very, very hard to get to in the car. And the starter has 3 bolts, and the starter comes in from the front. And this top bolt here, I had basically several extensions with 2 swivels in line in the extensions to actually access that bolt to get it out. So that one bolt, I spent probably an hour and a half getting out. So it's a little interesting to work on. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, you take the exhaust off. The exhaust on these is dual with an H pipe. Comes down through dual converters, 4 oxygen sensors, and the crossover pipe between the 2 of them. So that all comes off in one piece, but that wasn't too awful bad. There's one bolt on that, on the passenger side manifold, that I couldn't get to the nut without first removing the oxygen sensor from the pipe. So, but all in all, not too bad. So we got it out, got it apart. We're pretty much ready to go back together again. We've got our new throw-out bearing installed on our arm here, and we've got the clutches up in there on the flywheel all mounted up. Now the clutch itself was still functioning. Did have some hot spots in it, as you can see. She's pretty easy on the car, but it was time. You can look whenever you're looking at a clutch. Hope the camera's picking this up. You can see, like right here, where the friction material is actually worn down to a point where it's through the cooling groove, and we're very, very close to the rivets. So it was time, no doubt about that. Time to be changing this out. As you can see, there's more wear here on this side. See, that's worn down right through the grooves. So, but the one thing that this clutch did do, it was basically the reason I said we should change it. I mean, very, very hard to push. The pedal on this car required a huge amount of effort to push back and forth. I mean, your leg would be wore out if you drove it, 10 blocks through the city. So our pressure plate got fairly stiff on us. So, and as you can see, of course, the throw-out bearing here is, I don't know if you can hear it, but the bearing is rough as all get out and dry, and you can see where it's actually worn into the face of it there. So it's time. It's somewhat of a interesting challenge to get apart, but just slow but sure we conquer it, move on. Got an inexpensive little transmission jack there that we use from the Harbor Freight. It's a mechanical jack, a scissors type. I think they sell for like $80 or something like that, and it works really, really nice for occasional use. As you can see, it doesn't get used very much, but it's good for stuff like that. It enables you to do this type of stuff by yourself. You don't have to have anybody helping you, and you can do it fairly safely without worry of having anything fall on you. I remember, back in the day, we used to do it on, hydraulic jacks and stuff, and balance the transmissions and drop them out and stuff like that. But it's much better on that. It's strapped on. It can't come off. You can move it up in there, move it around, get it to where you want it, and it'll hold it there. And you can angle it back and forth to match the angle of the engine and stuff. It's just nice. Makes it kind of cool to do this. So good tool, and it's fairly inexpensive. There's a lot better ones out there, but for the occasional use in here, I have no complaints with that one, and I found it to work just fine. So that's what we're up to, and today's project is to see if we can get the transmission back up in it, and stuff bolted up. Got some few other things to do to the car. It's pretty much time for an oil change. So that the backup lights aren't working on it, so we'll take a look at those. I don't see it as often as probably should, so usually when it comes over, there's a few things to do. This clutch has been in the planning stages for quite a while. It's just a matter of coordinating schedules and her getting the car over. And she's really good. She sat here yesterday all afternoon while I took this apart, and watched and asked to help and stuff. Unfortunately, there's not an awful lot of room under the car, so there's not really much to do to help. But it's kind of cool that she hung out and was interested in her having her car worked on, and just dropped off and take one of Dad's cars and leave. So, like I say, she's a good kid, very proud of her. But that's her wheels. Like I say, she's definitely my daughter. Must be there's something in the genes for this, although, like I say, my son, for the most part, seemed to miss this part of it. So that's what we're up to. A little bit different project for us. We changed gears a little bit. Excuse me. Like I said way back when we kind of started this, we do a lot of different things. And it's kind of interesting, change it up a little bit. The biggest thing with like this particular car here is for the most part, my automotive, career, if you will, has been with imported cars. I have worked for dealerships, Chrysler. I do have, factory training in both of those brands. Never really had anything GM, but factory training also in, of course, Subaru, Volkswagen, Mazda, Audi, Hyundai was another one. So, and that's primarily what I worked on, is those cars are. So most of my stuff has been, imports of foreign cars. So it's kind of, and I do this thing every time I get into a project with, like a Mustang, the American-made vehicles or something like that. They're just, the design is so different that I find them hard to work on. I think the imports that I'm more familiar with are much easier to deal with. These are a lot more labor intensive, and you got to figure out a lot of ways of getting things apart, because it's more of a car that's designed to be built, not to work on. And it gets interesting sometimes, coming up with different ways to get things done. So it just adds to the challenge of it. Can be frustrating at times doing stuff like this, but I just trying to, I'm in a hurry. I just take my time and tinker around with it, and I get to the point where I get it done. So we're going to go off and see if we can get this thing back together. If I don't get up another video today, of course, this is being Sunday, the Mumble is tonight. You guys, like I say, jump on the Mumble. Love to have you. It's a good thing. And, chat live with the guys, and that's fun. So, until then, I guess I'm going to get back to work. And you all out there, enjoy your Sunday, whatever it is that you're doing. And until the next time, take it easy.